Hello and welcome back to my channel, guys. I'm your host Nobody, and today we're going back to Instruments of Destruction. So in the last episode, we ended up making this Wally here. It ended up probably being my most successful build on the channel so far. So much so that it even ended up on a Scrapman video, a guy I've been watching on YouTube for years now. So with the success of Wally, how can we possibly do any better? And let me tell you, I think I have an idea. And that is possibly with one of my favorite franchises of all times, Twisted Metal. Now, Sweet Tooth holds a very, very special place in my heart. He's actually the only game character of any kind that I have tattooed on my body. Sweet Tooth, to me, just has a very, very rich history with me and a lot of very good memories in my past. So with any luck, I can do Sweet Tooth justice and make a proper model in this game. With nothing else to talk about, let's go ahead and get into the build. And about 4 hours later, I finally have a build that I feel comfortable with. Now, the first thing you guys are probably noticing that Sweet Tooth himself actually does not have any of the pink polka dots here. And as much as I would love to incorporate that into this build, I just did not have a good way of doing it, and it still looked good. And of course, the little floppy head on top of this, of course it's got flames. It still looks jank as hell, but you know what? I love it all the same. Now you can see we can do some nice little wheelies here, but before I show you guys anything else, let's go ahead and take take this guy to another map and see what he can do. And here we are in Structural Zoo number 1. So of course, first thing we got to do is we got to hit F. We got to get them flames going on the top of Sweet Tooth's vehicle. Now, unlike Wally from a week ago, this creation is a lot simpler to control. Of course, we got F for the flames, and we also have G. Now, I have a little bit of stabilization. You can see it kind of softens some of these wheelies a little bit, and it also allows this guy to stay on his feet a little bit easier. Now, let's drive this guy over here a little bit. I want to kind of be in line if possible. We're going to start with the simplest thing, and that is with Q, and we have some very, very overpowered guns here, and that is pretty damn cool with the drive-by action here. Now, as some of you guys know that has watched me in the past, you know I try to make these things as accurate to the real-life or fictional counterpart as possible. You can see we already have 2 buildings down. Them guns are very effective at what they do. And then I don't know how the hell this building is even staying up. Alright, and now that we're lined up a little bit, we can go ahead and E for the second weapon, which is a laser. Now, the original Sweet Tooth vehicle does not have a laser. However, I saw an opportunity to kind of incorporate it into the build without being too intrusive, and I think it worked out for the best. You can see these lasers are very destructive, easily sawing that building in half. And let's see if we can drop this laser on that building. Oh, and yes, it takes out the building. Now we can see in his grill here, you can actually see the lasers kind of peeking through in between the little grills here, and I thought that was a pretty cool touch. I didn't want to leave that space really untouched. Now the next thing that we have going on is something that I'm actually quite proud of. They're not the most accurate weapons, so we have gotten quite close to some of these buildings, but you can see there's kind of a hatch on the side of this guy, and that's normally where he would give ice cream out to all the kitties. However, if we hit the arrow key, we actually have a rocket bay that comes out. Now you can see this thing is on hydraulics and it has a nice swivel. I had to actually do them together and see, there we go. Goes right back in place, a very flush finish, and I just think that is the coolest thing in this game. After getting the rocket pods out, all we got to do is hit one, and they should go off, you know, one after another, and hopefully, yes, with any luck, it looks like we only had one really hit. We can hit one again to get those rocket thrusters to stop there, and then we can just hit the bottom arrow, and it should just go back in place, and yes, man, look how flush that finish is. Oh my goodness, and they're both down. I just looked away for like 2 seconds and these buildings just collapsed. So those rockets definitely did a lot more. Whoa, what's going on over there? And apparently every building on this map is just KO'd. Now, one of the cooler details with this guy is there is slightly a little bit of interior. We have a nice little steering wheel, the grill again. And if this is about as accurate as I can make it, the arches gave me a little bit of problem, but you can see we finally got the different shaped arches nicely integrated into the build. And if we go ahead and open up the side door here, you can see I did put a nice little bit of effort into making sure we couldn't see inside of the vehicle. Now, it is actually quite ugly inside of this thing. If we were to say, I don't know, take it into the build mode, let's see if we can just cut this thing in half a little bit. All we got to do is hit, yeah, there we go, and we can open the build up. Something I've not really normally show you guys, but I figured it was interesting nonetheless. So we got some weights back here. We were having some issues with keeping traction. The back end kept popping up. You can see where the lasers are integrated right here. And then I just added a bunch of these flex panels in here to just kind of give the vehicle a little bit more depth of detail, you know, a proper wheel well, at least, you know, not being able to see into the back of the cabin as well. And there we go, guys. That is the Sweet Tooth build for this week. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like to this video. That lets YouTube know that you had a good time watching, and it also helps me get this video recommended to other viewers. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, as I am a very small YouTuber and it does help me out tremendously. And with that, guys, I will see you all in the next one.